If you own US stocks, what I'm about to reveal can either make you a fortune or cost you thousands. And it all comes down to a trade war most Americans don't even know it's happening. Just months ago, the US slapped a crushing 50% tariff on Indian goods, doubling down on what could be the biggest trade reshuffling since the China trade. And we're talking about a $132 billion in annual trade between the world's two largest democracies, and Wall Street insiders are already positioning themselves to profit from the chaos. By the end of this video, you know exactly which US stocks are set to benefit from this massive trade shift and how regular investors like you and me can get in before the big money catches on. My name is Felix Prehn. I'm an ex-investment banker who's seen how Wall Street really works. I'm also the founder of Goat Academy, where we have over 20,000 students, and I'm the co-founder of TradeVision.io, where we give regular investors like you and me the kind of data access and news access that usually is reserved only for Wall Street's elite. And I've dedicated my retirement to teaching regular investors how to beat Wall Street at their own game. Today, I'm going to expose a trade war that's creating a massive opportunity for US companies, opportunities that most retail investors are completely missing. And here's why this matters. India sells to the US $86 billion of goods a year. The US sells the other way $45 billion. Pretty significant sums. And it's also a $41 billion trade surplus, which is why Trump is not very happy about them. So the US has slapped a 50% tariff, which is essentially a tax on Indian goods. Covers most goods. But there are some exemptions. Pharma, semiconductors are exempt. So why does this matter? Because it isn't just about trade, it's about supply chain disruption, and disruption creates opportunity for smart US investors. And if you want to really learn the rules that Wall Street uses to find winning stocks, I could put it in this video, but it would add an hour to it, and most people are probably not up for that. But serious investors who are up for learning that can join me at felixfriends.org/get-free and literally spend 15 minutes watching what the 3 steps are to find those winning stocks. It's the protocol that I learned from my mentors on Wall Street. But let's look into the real opportunities here. India supplies 40% of all the generic drugs that Americans are popping like candy every single day. So who's a winner here? Always think about winners and losers in terms of money. From this exemption, who benefits? Well, CVS. They're a massive generic drug distributor. You got WBA, which is Walgreens, that benefit from cheaper generic supply chain. There are other stocks you might not have heard of. There is MCK, McKesson they're called. They're a drug distribution giant. There is Cardinal Health, another distribution play. So the second story to us is the US pharma supply chain. US pharma companies get cheaper inputs from India, which means they make higher margins on the generic drugs because they can take advantage of the low manufacturing costs in India, and that's now uninterrupted. So other sectors are facing headwinds, but pharma is suddenly looking nice and recession-proof. And on top of that, you've got an aging US population that's, as I say, popping drugs like they're candy. But there is another sector that's also set to benefit from this. And it is called defense and aerospace. There is a 10-year US-India defense framework that was just signed. They're going to do joint military exercises. There's an initiative for defense innovation. And who's the winner here? Well, it's US defense contractors who are going to sell US defense goods to India to reduce that trade deficit. So who have we got here? Let me give you a couple of potential winners here. These are not some financial advice. I'm telling you to run out and buy it. I'm telling you to use this as the beginning of your research. There is Lockheed Martin, ticker symbol LMT. There is an F-16 production partnership. There is Boeing, ticker symbol BA. Think Apache helicopter deals. Think commercial aircraft. There is ticker symbol RTX, that's Raytheon. Think missile systems and radio technology. And then there is General Dynamics, ticker symbol GD. Think naval systems and submarines. The opportunity is huge because India spends 13% more on defense every year than the year before. And the US is basically forcing India to move away from Russian supply to US supply in exchange for low tax, low tariff access to the United States. So now you got, how many winners have we got so far? Count them and put them in the chat. But there are more. India is a huge tech back-end supplier to the US. And that's continuing. And let me tell you why. Because companies like Microsoft have huge Indian operations. They use it for AI development. Google has huge R&D centers and cloud services in India. IBM has consulting and service partnerships there. You've got Accenture, who just laid off 11,000 people. They leverage India for cheaper costs. But there is even more than that. There are more sectors that are winners from this deal that most people don't know about yet. This is about semiconductors, semis. Intel, ticker symbol INTC, has done a partnership in India. You got Qualcomm, ticker symbol QCOM, 5G infrastructure deals in India. They need mobile phone stuff. Ticker symbol AMTA, Applied Materials, is supplying equipment for Indian fabs. Is this valuable for you yet? If this is valuable for you, put a V for valuable in the chat. And everyone's going to be wondering, what the heck is he talking about? Why is everybody writing V? But there is more. The US is collecting more dosh from India. There is a strategic clean energy partnership. Who's heard about that? Nobody, right? It's worth $14 billion. Who's going to win from that? Well, who makes clean energy in the US? Well, GE, they make wind turbines and power generation. You have First Solar, FSLR, write down these tickers. You have Caterpillar, yeah, they do infrastructure equipment. You have engineering companies like Fluor, ticker symbol FLR. But the biggest opportunity, or we haven't even touched upon yet, and this is a $1.4 trillion opportunity. $1 trillion. It's the infrastructure plan for India. India is a huge country. It needs more infrastructure. And they're going to let US companies get major contracts, which means long-term revenue. And who's that? Well, guess what? That's precisely the stocks I was talking about. It's these ones here. GE, FSLR, it's Caterpillar, it's FLR. Write these down. But there are also winners in the US from the actual tariffs. There are literally tariff winners because you make Indian goods 50% more expensive. People are going to start buying American if it's the same price. So here's a classic US manufacturer that's winning here. Well, have you heard of a company called 3M? Guess what the ticker symbol is? MMM, that's the one. Right? They're replacing Indian imports. We've got Honeywell, ticker symbol HON, Aerospace and Industrial Solutions. You've got, and here, these are golden nugget stocks no one's talking about. Here is Illinois Tool Works. If I could spell Tool Works, the tool can't spell tool. The ticker symbol that is ITW, make industrial equipment. There are more. Should I give you more? Should I give you more? Let me know in the chat down below. Okay, let me give you some more. EMR, that's Emerson Electric, automation and control systems. And then there is the textile opportunity. You're putting a 50% tariff on Indian textiles. Well, suddenly you can make more textiles back in the US. Who does that? Ticker symbol VFC, ticker symbol HBI, Ralph Lauren, massive run up this stock so far. So how do you put all of this together to actually benefit from this? To me, with anything in life, I have 3 buckets. I had a glorious mentor, and he said to me, Felix, if in doubt, keep it simple. That's how you win. You have your immediate winners, your now winners, and that's Pharma distribution. I'm not going to write distribution, but you know what I mean. You got defense contractors. Defense contractors always win. And then you've got the medium-term plays. Takes a little bit longer, but still pretty good. And that's tech services. You have the semis, the semiconductor equipment companies. And then you've got the long term, which is clean energy. I gave you all those tickers above, just scroll back up to where they were, and infrastructure. Those are my three buckets. Bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3 to benefit from India. Now, you're going to want to diversify across sectors. You're going to want to keep an eye on policy changes. One way you can do that, by the way, is literally go to Trade Vision, download the app. I show you what I get on my phone, literally just, which is super cool. Can you see that? I think you can hopefully see that. Do you see the news there about what the Fed just did, what governments just did, announcing some Nvidia and many other stocks? That pops onto my phone live and in real time, and I can select the stocks I want the news for. So you're not getting all this dross about stuff you don't care about. You just make a watch list with your stocks or whatever you want to watch, keep an eye on. And of course, you also get the general, really important stuff. We only give you the news that we think is going to move stock prices. So none of the noise, just the stuff that actually matters. It's all part of Trade Vision. It's a free trial to that. There's a link down below, felixprehn.com/Trade Vision. So the US-India trade war isn't just about tariffs. It's a massive reshuffling of global supply chains, and it creates unprecedented opportunities for US companies. That's the whole point, by the way. So do two things. Learn how to pick the winners. Go to felixprehn.com/get free. It'll take you 15 minutes, and you'll be much, much wiser and much, much more skilled. You want to get the news at the same time, go to felixprehn.com/Trade Vision. That's also a free trial there for like an entire week. Get some value out of this video. Well, do the two things I just told you to do. All the best. If you hold any dollar assets, your savings, your 401ks, your bonds, what I'm about to reveal could either protect your wealth or leave you financially devastated. A Russian economic advisor just exposed what he claims is America's secret plan to eliminate $37 trillion in debt overnight.